His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received at Sakir Palace His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. His Royal Highness was honoured to present His Majesty the King with a gold commemorative coin on the occasion of the Silver Jubilee, 25th anniversary. His Royal Highness was honoured to present His Majesty the King with a gold commemorative coin on the occasion of the Silver Jubilee, 25th anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne, which was issued by the Central Bank of Bahrain, the CBB. The bank used modern 3D technology for the first time in issuing double-sided commemorative coins. His Majesty the King expressed thanks and appreciation for the gift, praising the significant efforts of His Royal Highness to further enhance the economic and financial status of Bahrain. His Majesty acknowledged the important role played by CBB in further promoting the financial and banking sector, attracting investments and providing top-notch electronic services. His Majesty highlighted CBB's efforts to enable Bahrain to maintain its financial standing and strengthen its economy, thereby further enhancing its distinguished position in the financial and banking sectors. His Majesty the King extended his best wishes to the Chairman, board members, the Governor and all employees of CBB for continued success. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, in the presence of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, received at Sakir Palace His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward, who is visiting the kingdom. His Royal Highness Prince Edward conveyed to His Majesty the greetings and appreciation of His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and his best wishes to the people of Bahrain for continuous progress and prosperity. His Royal Highness Prince Edward also congratulated His Majesty on the Kingdom's National Day celebrations, wishing Bahrain continuous progress and prosperity under His Majesty's leadership. His Majesty welcomed His Royal Highness and conveyed his greetings and sincere wishes to His Majesty King Charles III for good health and happiness, and to the British people for further development and progress. His Majesty praised Bahrain and the UK's long-standing fruitful cooperation and joint coordination in various domains, stressing the mutual keenness to further consolidate and strengthen these long-standing relations to serve the common interests of the two countries. He expressed appreciation and pride in the role of His Majesty King Charles III in further strengthening the thriving ties of friendship and consolidating close and extended partnership relations for the benefit of the two countries and their friendly peoples. In recognition of His Royal Highness Prince Edward's efforts and contributions in further strengthening the strong ties and growing historical relations between the two friendly kingdoms, His Majesty conferred the King Hamad Order of Renaissance First Class on His Royal Highness. For his part, His Royal Highness Prince Edward expressed thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King for awarding him this order, appreciating His Majesty's keenness to further promote and develop Bahraini-British relations. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa patronised at Sakir Palace in the presence of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and His Royal Highness Prince Edward the Duke of Edinburgh, the Kingdom of Bahrain's celebration of its National Day and the 25th anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne and the accompanying national events. Upon the arrival of His Majesty the King, the artillery fired 21 shots to greet His Majesty. After the royal anthem, verses from the Holy Quran were recited.
سلام سيدي حضرة صاحب الجلالة ملك البلاد المعظم. سلام قف. أتنزلتكم بانصراف على الشرف. سي. شكرا. سي. يعيش جلالة الملك المعظم. يعيش جلالة الملك المعظم. يعيش جلالة الملك المعظم. أنس إلى الداخل. يوم معتدل سر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سيدي حضرة صاحب الجلالة الملك حمد بن عيسى آل خليفة ملك البلاد المعظم حفظه الله ورعاه، سيدي صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير سلمان بن حمد آل خليفة ولي العهد رئيس مجلس الوزراء حفظه الله ورعاه، Your Royal Highness Prince Edward Duke of Edinburgh، أصحاب السمو، أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، أيها السيدات والسادة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. عهدكم يا سيدي عهد خير وبركة، عهد تطور ورخاء، عهد تنمية شاملة هدفها المواطن الكريم وغايتها التحديث والنماء، لمسيرة أنتم يا سيدي من بذر بذرها الطيب، وها نحن اليوم نجني ثمارها في كل احتفالات مملكة البحرين، خاصة مع احتفالنا باليوبيل الفضي لتولي جلالتكم مقاليد الحكم في البلاد. أطال الله في أعماركم المديدة ومتعكم بالصحة والعافية، إنه سميع مجيب الدعاء. خير ما نبدأ به تلاوة عطرة من القرآن الكريم يتلوها على مسامعنا القارئ حمزة معاذ أحمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا وأبشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة ولكم فيها ما تشتهي أنفسكم ولكم فيها ما تدعون نزلا من غفور رحيم ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم وما يلقاها إلا الذين صبروا وما يلقاها إلا ذو حظ عظيم وإما ينزغنك من الشيطان نزغ فاستعذ بالله إنه هو السميع العليم صدق الله العظيم.
الكلمة السامية لسيدي حضرة صاحب الجلالة
His Majesty the King then delivered the following speech.
ملك البلاد المعظم حفظه الله ورعاه.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ضيفنا العزيز صاحب السمو الملكي دوق أدنبرا، أصحاب السمو والمعالي والسعادة، الحضور الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يطيب لنا في البدء أن نتوجه إليكم ولشعب البحرين العزيز بخالص التهنئة في يوم العيد الوطني المجيد الذي نستمد من مناسبته الغالية على قلوبنا العزم المشترك لتلبية احتياجات الحاضر وتطلعات المستقبل لأجيال البحرين الصاعدة، متمسكين في ذلك بثوابتنا الوطنية الراسخة التي تتجدد معانيها في كل عام ولا يتغير جوهرها على مر الأعوام. ونحرص في هذا المقام على أن نقف وقفة وفاء وإجلال لذكرى الراحل الكبير الوالد العزيز صاحب العظمة الشيخ عيسى بن سلمان آل خليفة طيب الله ثراه، فهو مؤسس العيد الوطني وراعيه منذ انطلاق مسيرة الوطن المعاصرة، وسنبقى أمناء لذكراه كما بقينا سائرين على نهجه في العمل الوطني وفي خدمة الإنسانية وتعايشها الحضاري حتى يومنا الحاضر. وسنستمر بالالتزام بذلك النهج المبارك وبذات الحماس والإخلاص بعون المولى عز وجل، وعلى خطى الإرث العريق لرواد البحرين الأوائل، رجالاً ونساء بعزيمتهم الصادقة وروحهم المثابرة، يواصلون بتقديم أجمل الصور في العطاء الوطني. وها نحن اليوم نحيي معكم عدداً من نماذجها المشرقة لتكريم جهودها الحثيثة والمتميزة في خدمة الوطن. وسيظل كل إسهام وطني مخلص مصدراً لفخرنا واستبشارنا بقد بلادنا الأجمل ولعيدنا الوطني. هذا العام طابعه الخاص، إذ يشاركنا أفراحه صديقنا العزيز صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير إدوارد دوق أدنبرا، الذي ترحب به البحرين أجمل ترحيب، وتعتبر زيارته في مثل هذه الأوقات القيمة دليلاً إضافياً على عمق الصداقة وقوة الشراكة التي تربطنا بالمملكة المتحدة العريقة بجذورها التاريخية والرحبة بآفاقها المستقبلية نحو المزيد من التقارب والتعاون المثمر بين بلدينا. فأهلاً وسهلاً بضيفنا العزيز ممثلاً عن جلالة الملك تشارلز الثالث، والذي تأتي زيارته البلاد ليشاركنا احتفالات البحرين بذكرى مرور 25 عام على تولينا مقاليد الحكم. وفي الختام الله نسأل أن يحفظ البحرين الغالية ويديم عليها أمنها واستقرارها لأهلها الكرام وجميع المقيمين فيها، ولتبقى كما نريد لها أن تكون الملتقى الرحب للتسامح والتآخي والسلام، إنه سميع مجيب. وكل عام وأنتم بخير، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
The honorees then greeted His Majesty the King. The list of honorees included His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Ali bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, Hassan Khalifa Al Jalahma, Sheikh Dr. Rashid Mohammed Al Hajri, His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Ali bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, Dr. Sheikh Hesed bin Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, Brigadier General Ahmed Isa Abdullah Al Junaid, Brigadier General Walid Abdul Rahman Saleh bin Hindi Al Manai, Brigadier General Ahmed Abdullah Shamzan Al Manai, Colonel Staff Ali bin Khalifa bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, Brigadier Sheikh Abdul Rahman bin Abdul Wahab Al Khalifa, Assistant Lieutenant Najib Talib Ibrahim Ali, Lieutenant Colonel Rashid Salam Hassan, Warrant Officer Ajaz Muhammad Hassan Al Mansuri, Yahya Mahamuddin Muhammad, Dr. Lulwa Rashid Hassan Abdullah Shuwaita, Muhammad Yaqub Al Amr, Dr. Khalid Ahmed Hassan, Khalid Rashid Biseba, Ambassador Talal Abdul Salam Muhammad Al Ansari, Dr. Ibrahim Abdul Rahman Ahmed Al Mutawa, Artist Saad Abdullah Al Ainain, Sheikh Lulwa bin Khalifa bin Ali Al Khalifa, Sheikh Ali bin Salman bin Ali Al Khalifa, Karima Muhammad Al Abbasi, Fazana Abdullah Abdurrahim Al Maragi, Khaled Jamil Al Bayat, Mike Ariva Aliotis, Nara Samir Al Said, Iman Muhammad Ibrahim Al Sharif, Sheikh Arana bin Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad Al Khalifa, Imad Ahmed Omar, Dr. Hussam Abdulaziz Noor, Abdulaziz bin Abdullah Al Ahmed, Ahmed Khalid Al Araifi, Dr. Sheikh Lubna bin Ali bin Abdullah bin Khalid Al Khalifa, Muhammad Abdul Jabbar Al Kahiji, Khalifa Ahmed Khamis Al Rumehi, Dr. Raja Al Sayed Hassan Abdullah Al Yusuf, Isa Hamad Al Kawari, Walid Ali Mashif Said Abdulaziz, Gada Fahad Ahmed Fahad, Muhammad Abdullah Hussein Al Hatmi, Dr. Arif Abdurrahman Al Hamadi, Muhammad Salim Al Kindi, Dr. Miyasa Sultan Al Sawadi, Habib Sabah Habib, Riba Yusuf Al Amari, Hussein Ali Yaqub, Dunya Faisal Isa Sahan, Dr. Khalid Fahad Saeed Alawi Nasir Alawi, Ragdan Saleh Qasim Al Abdul Rasul, Hussein Ali Al Shahab, Nur Hassan Al Assam, Muhammad Saeed Muhammad Al Shahab, Ravindran Pillai Bira Krishna Pillai, Engineer Nur Ahmed Abdurrahman Al Saeed, Nur Hafiz Ibrahim Abdurrahman Bu Ali, Dr. Hamid Ibrahim Al Abdullah, Abdullah Ahmed Daif, Fadl Juma Al Fazari, Muhammad Abdurrahman Bichiri, Leila Hassan Ahmed, Dr. Amjad Ghanem Zaid Ghanem Muhammad, Aisha Khalid Al Haram, Walid Joseph Al Baghdadi, Ali Muhammad Ali Ibrahim Al Majid, Jazim Mansour Hassan, Hassan Ali Mansour Ahmed Zubal, Amani Ali Hassan Ibrahim Hassan Ali Ibrahim.
صاحب الجلالة، أيها الحضور الكريم، كلمة المكرمين تلقيها نيابة عنهم السيدة كريمة محمد العباسي، أمين عام مجلس الشورى.
After that, the Secretary-General of the Shura Council, Karima Mohammed Al-Abbasi, delivered a speech on behalf of the Honorees. She congratulated His Majesty the King on the occasion of the National Day and the 25th anniversary of His Majesty's accession to the throne. She added that His Majesty's honouring is a great honour that all the people of Bahrain look forward to, and said that His Majesty's trust is a motivation to exert more efforts for the progress and prosperity and advancement of the Kingdom. On the occasion of the Silver Jubilee, Al-Abbasi praised the historical achievements made during the prosperous era of His Majesty the King. She added that honouring of distinguished Bahrainis every year forms an incentive to continue the path of achievement, development and excellence. She added that His Majesty's support and encouragement is the real motive behind the unprecedented achievements and successes in the history of the homeland in various scientific, cultural and youth fields, and in all regional, continental and international forums, which are in line with His Majesty's vision for the present and future of this country. She concluded by expressing thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King and extended her congratulations on this national occasion and wished His Majesty good health, happiness and many happy returns, and for the Kingdom further progress and prosperity.
لبذل المزيد من العطاء والعمل المثمر من أجل تقدم وازدهار ورقي مملكتنا الغالية. سيدي حضرة صاحب الجلالة، بمناسبة اليوبيل الفضي لتولي جلالتكم المعظم، نود أن نشيد بما تحقق من إنجازات تاريخية عظيمة في عهدكم الزاهر الميمون، وإن ما سننتموه من عادة حسنة لتكريم أبناء الوطن المتميزين في كل عام لهو نبراس يقتدي به الجميع ودافع وحافز لأبناء الوطن لمواصلة السير على طريق الإنجاز والتنمية والتميز لنيل شرف الحصول على هذا التكريم. إن رعاية جلالتكم الكريمة ودعمكم وتشجيعكم لهذه الكوكبة من أبناء الوطن من عسكريين ومدنيين لهي الدافع الحقيقي خلف ما نراه اليوم من إنجازات ونجاحات عديدة وغير مسبوقة في تاريخ الوطن الغالي في مختلف المجالات العلمية والثقافية والشبابية، وفي جميع المحافل الإقليمية والقارية والعالمية، وذلك تحقيقاً لنظرتكم الثاقبة لحاضر ومستقبل هذه البلاد المعطاءة بالخير، وجني ثمار غرسكم المبارك الذي رسختم فيه روح العطاء والتفاني لخدمة الوطن. ختاماً، أرفع إلى مقام جلالتكم السامي الكريم بالأصالة عن نفسي وبالنيابة عن جميع المكرمين أسمى آيات الشكر وعظيم التقدير ووافر الامتنان والعرفان، مقرونة بالتهنئة العطرة والتبريك بهذا اليوم الأغر. أعاده الله عليكم سنين عديدة بموفور الصحة والخير والسعادة والعافية والعمر المديد. حفظكم الله ورعاكم قائداً لنهضة الوطن، وأدامكم ذخراً وسنداً وعزاً وفخراً لمملكتنا وأهلها الكرام الأوفياء. وحفظ الله البحرين وأدام عليها عزها ورخائها تحت قيادتكم الحكيمة. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received cables of congratulation on Bahrain's celebration of its National Day, the 25th anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne and the accompanying national events. The cables were sent by senior members of the royal family, the Representatives Council Speaker, the Shura Council Chairman, ministers, senior officials, Shura and Representative Council members, dignitaries, governors, municipal councillors, Bahrain's ambassadors abroad, heads of diplomatic missions in Bahrain, heads of societies, sports associations and clubs, and citizens. They stress that this national occasion represents a bright milestone in Bahrain's modern history, as the kingdom is living in a prosperous era of prosperity and well-being, in the march of progress with civilizational and developmental achievements and acquisitions in various fields and sectors under the leadership of His Majesty the King and the support of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. They wished His Majesty good health and happiness, and Bahrain and its people further progress and prosperity under His Majesty's leadership. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, met with His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward at Gudaibiya Palace. His Royal Highness affirmed that Bahrain, under the leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, remains committed to strengthening cooperation and joint coordination with the United Kingdom. His Royal Highness highlighted the long-standing historic bilateral relations and multifaceted cooperation between Bahrain and the United Kingdom. His Royal Highness welcomed the Duke of Edinburgh and his accompanying delegation. To His Royal Highness emphasised the importance of further developing bilateral relations to achieve mutual aspirations. Regional and international issues of common interest were also discussed. His Royal Highness later hosted a lunch banquet in honour of the Duke of Edinburgh and his accompanying delegation. Under the patronage of His Majesty the King's Representative for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs and Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, the SCYS, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the 2024 IWF World Weightlifting Championships concluded yesterday. The closing ceremony was attended by the First Deputy Chairman of the SCYS, Chairman of the General Sports Authority, the GSA, and President of Bahrain Olympic Committee, BOC, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa. Present were GSA Vice President His Highness Sheikh Salman bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, BOC Vice President His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Ali Al Khalifa, President of the International Weightlifting Federation, the IWF, Mohammed Al Shamari, senior officials, member of the Diplomatic Corps, guests and invitees. His Highness commended Bahrain's successful hosting of the championship, emphasising that this achievement underscores the Kingdom's prominent status in organising international sports events. He acknowledged the significant efforts of the Bahraini Weightlifting Federation, led by Ishaq Ibrahim and the organising committee. He highlighted the hosting of the championship aligns with the vision of Bahrain's leadership to establish the kingdom as a global sports hub. His Highness stressed that hosting the World Weightlifting Championship is a translation of the leadership's vision to make the kingdom a global sports hub that hosts the most prominent international events and championships, pointing out that this success proves the ability of national cadres to organise the largest sporting events according to the highest international standards. The closing ceremony began with a speech by the IWF President, in which he praised Bahrain's outstanding organisation of the championship. His Highness then awarded medals to the top 3 competitors in the 109+ weight category. The ceremony also included a video presentation highlighting key moments from the championship and concluded with honours for sponsors. The IWF President also presented a commemorative gift to His Highness in appreciation for his support. Bahrain is celebrating its National Day and the 25th anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne and the accompanying national events. Bahrain recalls its long history of national achievements achieved during the past years as part of the comprehensive development process in which Bahrain is moving steadily and progressively towards the future under the prosperous reign of His Majesty the King and the diligent and sincere efforts of the government headed by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to adopt the best administrative and organisational practices, ensure the highest quality government services and launch more pioneering development projects that aim to raise the standard of living for Bahraini citizens and invest in national cadres in order to achieve the objectives of development in Bahrain. The Kingdom of Bahrain made great achievements during the prosperous era of His Majesty the King in various national fields and at all levels. These national achievements contributed to the Kingdom's excellence in various sectors and the empowerment of citizens by creating promising opportunities for them. More in this report.
The Kingdom of Bahrain achieved pioneering development, urban and civilizational achievements to continue the comprehensive development march led by His Majesty the King, in accordance with the Constitution and the National Action Charter, which established the framework of the executive, legislative and judicial authorities in the presence of an impartial and independent judiciary and the exercise of legislative and oversight functions by the Parliament. Bahrain made many achievements in the file of respect for human rights and fundamental and personal freedoms for all, through its commitment to accede to a number of international human rights conventions, which contributed to drawing a comprehensive human rights roadmap, including Bahraini women, who have achieved a prominent position in the framework of equality and social justice, in accordance with the Constitution and national legislation, under the efforts of the Supreme Council for Women, in addition to labor market reform, educational development, diversification of health services, and follow-up development of social development services in line with global economic changes. In the economic file, the Kingdom was able to be a major commercial, financial, investment and tourism center in the Middle East and became a leading Arab country in economic freedom and an advanced position in sustainable human development following the establishment of the Economic Development Board and the pursuit of the economic vision of the Kingdom of Bahrain, in addition to the establishment of the Financial and Administrative Control Bureau and the Tender Board. These steps contribute to ensuring transparency as a basic approach in the work to complete the construction of a modern national state, and through these steps it was able to distinguish itself in the tourism file in light of the availability of the elements of attractiveness of political stability and security. An institutional and constitutional framework and constructive cooperation contributed to writing strategies and plans that pushed the kingdom to a distinguished global position towards further development and future successes.
The Speaker of the Council of Representatives, Ahmed Al-Musallam, emphasised that Bahrain's National Day is a crucial platform to renew loyalty to the leadership and express pride in national achievements. He attributed the Kingdom's progress to the vision of His Majesty the King and the support of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. Al-Musallam highlighted that these national occasions showcase Bahrain's rich history, social cohesion and values of coexistence. He commended the government's efforts in implementing royal directives through cooperation between executive and legislative authorities. He hailed royal speech of His Majesty during his Bahrain celebration on its National Day and His Majesty's anniversary of his accession to the throne, expressing pride in the speech, which emphasised the joint determination to meet the present needs and the future aspirations of Bahrain's generations. The chairman of the Shura Council, Ali Al-Saleh, emphasised that celebrating national occasions is a source of pride for Bahrain, reflecting its achievements under His Majesty the King's leadership. He expressed loyalty to His Majesty the King and pride in Bahrain's globally recognised progress and development. Al-Saleh noted that these occasions embody Bahrain's bright history and successful national record. He affirmed the Council's commitment to further pursuing national interests, promoting cooperation with the government and collaborating with various institutions. He hailed royal speech of His Majesty during Bahrain's celebration of its National Day and His Majesty's anniversary of his accession to the throne, stressing that the speech set the national determinants to sustain Bahrain's prosperity, its national constants and its civilised history.
شكرا ابو سلمان وياك ثم وياك للمجد ماشي شكرا حميت الدار شكرا حميت الدار شكرا ابو سلمان وياك ثم وياك وياك ثم وياك للمجد ماشي.
The philosophy of joint teamwork for the higher national interest has been the impetus for cooperation and integration between various entities in the public and private sectors in Bahrain. This year's National Day comes as an opportunity to remember that Team Bahrain, led by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, continues to fulfil the visions and aspirations of His Majesty the King in various fields. More in this report.
Achievements can only come through solidarity and cooperation in the face of challenges, and looking towards future goals is the essence of this solidarity, and working as one team ensures reaching the goals sought by the Kingdom of Bahrain under the leadership of His Majesty the King, and in every event and forum we see pride in this team. Team Bahrain is not only a slogan, but a spirit of joint work, and an emphasis on integration and interdependence between all team members, and continue to make achievements. This team, led by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, is guided by His Majesty the King's visions to be realized on the ground, and the team's achievements are manifested on the land of the Kingdom. The efforts of Team Bahrain and the competencies of the country's citizens are a source of pride, and their achievements are recorded on the national, regional and international levels.
ويطيب لنا في هذا المقام أن نثني على الجهود الدؤوبة لفريق العمل الحكومي بقيادة ولي عهدنا الأمين رئيس مجلس الوزراء صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير سلمان بن حمد آل خليفة حفظه الله وبارك في مسعاه الذي يسجل بصماته المؤثرة في ميادين الخدمة العامة بانتهاج أفضل الممارسات الإدارية والتنظيمية ولضمان أجود الخدمات الحكومية.
In fulfillment of His Majesty's aspirations, ambitious collective work continue. From every location, the soldier preserves the security of the homeland, the doctor treats his patients, and national potentials are invested in in order to achieve regional and international successes. And those who seek Bahrain's interest in international forums take on challenges in the spirit of one team, Team Bahrain, in order to raise the status of the kingdom on the regional and international levels.
The Embassy of Bahrain in Oman celebrated the National Day of Bahrain and strengthened the feelings of loyalty and belonging amid a remarkable presence of Their Highnesses and Omani citizens. The attendees emphasised the depth of the common ties between the two countries in light of their common history and destiny. The meetings and mutual visits between the rulers of the two countries reflect the civilisational communication that extends since Dulman and Majan civilisations, which confirms the strong relations, solid ties and consensual visions between the two countries in various fields of joint action. The Embassy of Bahrain in Qatar held a ceremony on the occasion of Bahrain's celebration of its National Day and 25th anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne, and the accompanying national events. The Ambassador of Bahrain to Qatar, Mohammed Al-Khattam, welcomed the honoured attendees and the participation with Bahrain on this cherished national occasion, expressing the highest congratulations and blessings to His Majesty the King, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, the government and the people of Bahrain on this occasion. He also expressed his pride and appreciation for the solid fraternal relations between Bahrain and Qatar, established by His Majesty the King and His Highness the Emir of Qatar, which resulted in high-level fraternal relations and a distinguished process of joint action that serves the desired interests and objectives and responds to the aspirations of the peoples of the two brotherly countries for further progress and prosperity. The streets, landmarks and intersections of Bahrain were beautifully illuminated with the red and white lights in celebration of the national holidays and the 25th anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne. This festive display created a special aesthetic that reflected the spirit of the celebrations throughout December. More in this report.
On December 16, Bahrainis celebrate their National Day, a time for national pride and joy, where the streets of the kingdom are adorned with decoration as citizens recall their history and achievements. It is a great national occasion that represents an opportunity to express pride in the kingdom's history, achievements and gains, and its aspiration toward a bright future under the leadership of His Majesty the King. Since the beginning of December, the Kingdom of Bahrain streets have been adorned with red and white colors, and cities and landmarks are decorated with Bahraini flags. This festive atmosphere coincides with various national celebrations, peaking on December 16, when citizens gather to celebrate national achievement across various domains. The Kingdom of Bahrain celebrates its national holiday alongside the 25th anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne. This occasion emphasizes the significance of national unity and collective actions in building upon the principles and values established by our forefathers. It is a proud moment that should be immortalized in the spirit of belonging and loyalty.
On the occasion of Bahrain's National Day celebrations and the anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne, newspapers and news websites devoted extensive coverage of this national occasion. The occasion also received a great deal of interaction on social media platforms. More in this report.
The Kingdom of Bahrain's celebration of its National Day and the anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne and the accompanying national events witnessed wide media coverage. Bahraini newspapers devoted their front pages to this national occasion, highlighting the achievements made during a quarter of a century under the leadership of His Majesty the King, with the support of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. Newspapers addressed the dimensions of these celebrations, praising the kingdom's leading role in promoting Arab and regional cooperation, and published congratulatory messages from Arab leaders who expressed their appreciation for the kingdom's position on the political and economic levels. Various news sites also focused on the kingdom's development achievements over the past years, emphasizing its prominent role in supporting stability and peace in the region, as well as its contributions to international issues. Social media also covered these celebrations, with hashtags topping the lists of views and platforms, filled with posts on national parades and events held across the kingdom. These national celebrations emphasize Bahrain's status across the world and embody the cohesion between its leadership and its people.
The Google search engine marked Bahrain's National Day, the 25th anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne, and accompanying national events with a special tribute. Google's homepage featured an animated depiction of Bahrain's flag fluttering in the sky, surrounded by a red and white frame, in celebration of this national occasion. The entrances of Moscow's major airports, along with streets across Russia, were decorated with Bahrain's flags in celebration of the kingdom's national days and the 25th accession anniversary of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne. This reflects the strong cooperation between Bahrain and Russia, which continues to thrive across various sectors. The celebration also coincides with the continued operation of Bahrain's national carrier, Gulf Air, which has been running daily direct flights to Moscow for over 11 years.